This is Pennsylvania Newsmakers, a fast-paced, unrehearsed weekly discussion with and about the leaders who shape your world. And now, here's your host, Terry Madonna.
Well, we got some big topics to take up. The legislature is about to return after not doing the revenue portions of a budget. We'll get into that, but first, it's National Assisted Living Week, and I'm chatting here with Russ McDaid. He heads the Pennsylvania Healthcare Association. I got that. He's the president and CEO, and Michelle Hamilton, she's the senior vice president at Country Meadows. Well, Russ, let's start with you. As you and I have chatted about this before, we have this huge senior citizen population of which we're all part of. At least I am. I'll forgive you two. You're not. I am. And, you know, we don't do enough planning about what the heck we're going to do when we get to those years when we're close to retirement and when we need assisted living. So talk a little bit about what are the options out there for folks. This is an important discussion which we need to have often. Go ahead.
Well, and Terry, Assisted Living Week is the perfect time to have the conversation.
Right.
Here in Pennsylvania, we have two licenses that talk about basically the same type of care: an assisted living residence and a licensed personal care home. And the same types of care and services are provided in both settings. They're provided on a 24/7 basis. And the magic behind assisted living and personal care is that they allow an individual to age in place. So as they go through the routine ups and downs in the aging process, we all have good months and bad months as we age. Their needs can be met. I'm thrilled to have Michelle Hamilton with me today. Michelle's an expert in this field. Yeah. She's with Country Meadows in Hershey, and she can share some insights as well.
Yeah, but you know what's really fascinating about this is that it's not, I want to get into what people can expect, but what about planning? I mean, should people walk in the door when they're a month before they've got to make a major decision about what to do?
They really should not, Terry. They should not wait. But a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Because it's scary.
You're right. Selling your house.
Who wants to enter into that kind of conversation and start to explore? So we see both sides. We see folks that do a lot of planning. We see a lot of seniors that actually want to not have that burden on their own children. So they actually seek us out and they start to do the touring. But we also see that families, when it becomes a real necessity, is when they start the planning process.
Yeah. Before I go on, I want to talk to you about what services actually get provided. How critical a issue is this for you? I mean, you get this every day in your life. People will come in, they'll talk to you about it, and as an organization that represents so many of these facilities around the state, it must be on your mind constantly about how to get people to think about this.
Well, at the Pennsylvania Healthcare Association, you're right, Terry. We hear from folks all the time. They come to our website, they ask us questions. What's the difference between the skilled level of care and assisted living where Michelle focuses her time?
So so I walk in the door and I say, okay, Michelle, I have no clue what's going on here. What are you going to tell me?
Well, I'm going to talk with you and I'm going to try to find out from you, what are you looking for? What are you searching for? But then I want you to visit. I want you to take a visit around the community, take a look at what we have to offer. And every community is a little different.
Yeah,
there's small, there's mid-size, and there's large communities. But you're going to want to look to see, what's happening in the community. Is there life happening? Are there activities, things that the residents can be involved in? Are there smiles on the faces of the staff? Are there staff present?
Yeah, that's a great point about the personal relationships. I mean, I read one time where people, because of what I do, that when prospective students come to a campus, within about 6 minutes, they make up their mind because of the,
It really is a feeling. It's a feeling.
Great point.
And there are a lot of options out there, and I think that what we try to tell people is try to visit at least 3 or 4 or 5.
Great point.
Not just go to the website and look at the information on the website, but make the visit.
All right, final question in this segment. So is there a process that you go through to select the right one, either one of you? Is there...
I think it's a family decision. I think really it is the senior themselves and the family who they know what they're looking for. What are the interests of the individual, And when they go to visit, hopefully several different places, they're going to look for those things that interest them. Where can they begin to live life again instead of having all of the demands of the home, the chores, the paying the bills, the mowing and the laundry and the grocery shopping. So it's all those necessities as well as the medical care, but it's the look and feel.
Okay.
Does it feel right?
Michelle, I want to go back to you. This is a pretty big week. Why? I mean, and you're actually running a facility. Why does that matter? What's the relationship between you this week and what you do?
Well, isn't it great to celebrate?
Oh yeah, we all like to do that.
It's great to celebrate, and this week
and we're
is
doing
really
it with water.
There you go. We're celebrating. Really, it's a week to celebrate our caregivers.
Yeah.
Our caregivers, our residents, and their families. And the theme this year, which I absolutely love, is family is forever. And when you think about the amount of time that we spend at work, it's about half our lives. Our caregivers are spending about half of their lives caring for other people. At the end of the day, this business is about human beings caring for human beings. This week is about celebrating them and their families. There's a bond, a special bond, that is formed between the residents and the caregivers. I mean, they're seeing them at the most intimate part of their
that's
life.
That's a great point. Yeah, my mother was in a facility, and after a while, she knew everybody's first name, and it was like family.
It's a beautiful
We'd go
thing.
To see her. What are you doing here? I'm going to hang out with my friend. No, I'm joking, but you get
it's
the point.
The truth. It is, and you see. I mean, we see caregivers that they're pregnant. Okay, great, wonderful. Well, that resident follows them through the pregnancy as if it was their own grandchild being born. And the joy of that birth. And then they bring that little baby in, and then they get to hold that baby. It's about the relationship. So this week gives us an opportunity to pause and say, thank you.
And Russ, a lot of people are single. I mean, you know, maybe they've lost a spouse or they've lost a friend, whatever, and they're alone, right?
Right.
And that makes it extraordinarily difficult, I think. So when you get that kind of relationship with people that interact, and it must take a special kind of personality to be in that line of work, right?
Oh, it absolutely does. When I go out, I mean, those folks are heroes in every sense of the word, Terry.
Yeah.
You know, having the right caregiver is just, it's essential. It's the thing that you can't teach is that passion, that commitment for caring. PHCA has been involved in a partnership with the Department of Labor and Industry and the local workforce investment boards over the past several years to help foster those individuals with that passion for caring, give them the training they need, give them the tools that they need to make long-term care, including assisted living and personal care, a career choice for the long term.
Now, looking at this, and you know, it's something that I often think about when we deal with Medicaid. I mean, good many of the people that are in facilities are on Medicaid. I mean, they wouldn't be there, they wouldn't have the care. They, you know, some of them would literally, correct me, would be out in the streets. Am I wrong?
Well, it's a very difficult.
Without Medicaid.
Absolutely. I mean, Medicaid's important. The work that these folks in assisted living and personal care do is important. People don't look at it, and we've had this conversation before. They don't pay attention to what they need. Assisted living and personal care fit an important piece of the care continuum, which is why the work that Michelle and her colleagues do is so critical.
Oh, it is. Now, one other point. So that means you have to have special attributes. You do. I mean, you do the hiring. So you have to find people that have. I won't call them skills so much as there's an empathy, there's attributes, there's qualities that you look for, right?
You know what I like to say? Gifts.
Gifts, yeah.
They're really gifts. I mean, honestly, to be able to care for other people, it is about your gifts. Each of us have gifts, skills, talents, and I think that the folks that work in communities each and every day, they're really playing upon the gifts that they were born with. They are born to serve and give and love. So when we interview, we're looking for those things. We can teach the skills, but you can't teach compassion. You can't teach somebody to love and to be there at the most vulnerable part of somebody's life. So we really look for that. And I want to just play off of what Russ said too about, you know, senior care is a career. I mean, it is a career, and it just doesn't have to be frontline caregivers, but there's management opportunities, there's senior level opportunities. It is a growing industry.
So there's good employment possibilities at the same time you're involved in helping people at critical moments in their lives, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's absolutely correct. And when we look at Assisted Living Week, Michelle said the celebration piece. I mean, it's really exciting to be able to celebrate those individuals. You know, what we do, we sometimes think it's really important what we do around Harrisburg. The real work is done in every town, in every community on a daily basis by these caregivers.
Before I let you go, I mean, I'll just weigh in. I mean, a lot of my friends and colleagues that were on the faculty with me at Millersville University and now at F&M, I mean, they're looking for facilities. You know, they reach a point in their lives when you can't do it on your own, and it's very important that people, and I'll get nod of the head on this, that people do the research and know what they're getting into. And we've talked about that before, right?
That's right.
Can I tell one story, Terry?
We got to do it
real
quick.
But we had two residents at our YMSN campus in Reading. They came in early 90s. They were alone. They had lost their spouses. They came in only thinking they were going to be in for a month or two. In their early 90s, fell in love, got married.
Oh, my gosh.
We had a big, beautiful wedding for these two people. I mean, that's what you find
there you go.
in assisted living.